Hello everyone, Diana here. I am in my backyard today and it's a beautiful warm spring day which gets me in the mood to start planting my vegetable garden. However, it is towards the end of March and maybe a bit too early to get my plants in the ground, but not too early to go ahead and start cleaning up the area where we'll be planting them. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and it looks a little bit rough, so here we go. Here in my backyard, I have this area where I plant my vegetable garden, and it's not very large, but it has worked well for me over the years. I have two Japanese plum trees and a peach tree over here. I think the variety is a contender peach. And the area where we'll be working today is mostly this area. As you can tell, it's been pretty overgrown with weeds. I have some pots here from last growing season that I just didn't end up putting away, and my garlic back here, which has a ton of weeds too that I need to clean up. So typically what I do to get rid of these weeds is that I use a shovel to kind of overturn the soil a little bit, similar to what a tiller would do, but it is a very labor intensive process. And so I thought I'd try something different this year. I have a string trimmer here and I will be using that to cut back the weeds and hopefully get this area cleaned up. finished cleaning out this area and it looks a lot better. Definitely not completely weed free, but one step closer to planting. And what I'd like to do now is just add a little bit of fertilizer to the garlic, maybe some to the plum trees and the peach tree. Now I also have a bag of leaves that I saved from the fall, and I am just going to sprinkle them over the top of this area just to keep some of the weeds from sprouting. Those leaves should eventually break down and add to the composition of the soil, so let's go ahead and add those now. The fertilizer that I will be adding is this Espoma Organic Plant Tone, and I'm just going to sprinkle it around the base of the garlic. I will also be adding a little bit to this plum tree. Second plum tree. And the peach. Now that the leaves and fertilizer have been applied, all that's left to do is water everything in thoroughly. And just before we finish today, I'd just like to give an update on the peas that we planted a few weeks ago. They're looking wonderful. The germination was a little bit spotty, but I am still happy with the results. Alright everybody, we've reached the end of this video. Hope you've enjoyed watching how I clean out my vegetable garden in preparation for spring planting. Make sure you follow along and subscribe so you can see what I will be planting and how I amend my soil. Thanks for watching. Bye.